Hi, it's Dorothy Guining with Scrapbooking Quebec. Today I'm here for Mercy Tiara Kits and I'm going to be creating a 12 by 12 layout featuring the October 2024 release called Cuddle Up. This kit combines products from Simple Stories, Echo Park Paper, American Crafts, and more. So here's my narrowed down selection. The pattern paper is mostly from the Maggie Holmes Forever Fields collection, but I have a bit of Simple Stories, cider, and donuts, and that gold solid paper is from Echo Park Paper. I'm going to be playing with a bit of everything from the main kit, embellishment add-on, and cardstock add-on. This kit sold out. However, if you want a closer look at it, check out my unboxing video. I will put a link to it below, along with links to the Mercy Tiara Kits website, Instagram, and Facebook group. I struggled a bit with this one and I changed it 3 times throughout the process. I sped up, but still included attempts 1 and 2. I have a reason for this and I will explain throughout the process. So let's get started. Here's what's on my desk. I have 2 photos that I have matted already in advance. So the first 3 pattern papers I'm showing you are all from the Maggie Holmes Forever Fields collection. That check one is from Simple Story, Cider, and Donuts, and that gold solid one is from Echo Park Paper. That was in the cardstock add-on, and the off-white is Warm White from Simple Stories. That's from my stash. I also have a cut file, which is a digital cut file that comes with the main kit. And here are my embellishments. So basically I have a bit of everything from the main kit and the embellishment add-on here. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut up some paper to create a border that's going to take up about 1/3 of the page on the left-hand side. I already have some strips of paper. I've been playing with this collection already for a few weeks now. So what I'm doing right now is cutting myself out a circle. I have the jumbo circle for the custom cutting system from Creative Memories. So basically I'm cutting out a circle that measures about 8 inches, and I'll put measurements for all of this on the screen a little bit later on. So off camera, I started inking all of the papers. I'm using Morning Mist by Versifying Claire, and I also made myself 2 photo mats in that floral paper, again from the Maggie Holmes Forever Fields collection. So now I want to show you how I plan to set this up. So basically I'm creating a border with 3 different pattern papers, and each one of them is a different size, and it's going to be bumped up on the left hand side of the page. Now, my original plan, why I thought of this design, is because I thought I would use that cut file. So I put it on the page. I kind of liked it, wasn't sure. That's why I cut myself out that jumbo circle. Now I'm trying it with just a jumbo circle and my photos, testing it out with my photo mats here. Usually I have a bit more of a plan when I start a video, and it's possible that's why I changed my mind a few times throughout the process. Now I want to talk about this cut file. Again, it comes with the main kit. It's for an electronic die cutting machine. I don't have one. So Tracy, the kit owner, sent me this. So basically they are digital files that you can use to cut your own cut files. What I did with mine, because it was white, is I decided to color mine in with alcohol markers. What I have here are Stampin' Blends from Stampin' Up, and the colors I have are soft succulent dark and soft succulent light. So if you look at where I colored, it's kind of buried, and I really love this technique. This was new to me. I was just playing around in my scrap room, and I thought I would save it and show you how I did it. That white paper that's underneath was just the insert to a paper pack, so it's not a paper that I would use in my scrapbook. Anyway, I am showing you how easy this is. You could also do this with ink, you could do it with sprays, you could do it with whatever you wanted, but I did find it a very fun technique. At this point, I'm not sure if I'm going to use it on this layout, but if I don't use it here, I will use it on a future layout. So now what I want to do is just kind of, once again, play around with my page. Now I'm thinking for the title, I want Fall Vibes. So this is a cut apart sheet that was in the pattern paper in the main kit. Again, that was from the Simple Story Cider and Donuts collection. So what I thought I would do is cut out that cut apart sheet with a tag die. Those are Tim Holtz tag dies that are in my stash that I've had forever and ever. I'm not going to make you watch all of this, but I did create this, and I do keep it as a title for a while, but I change it up. So I'm just showing you off camera. I inked up that tag a bit. I also cut myself out a piece of graph paper tag. I thought at that point that was where I was going to do my journaling. Now I'm showing you my embellishments. So I have ephemera pieces from 2 different ephemera packs. This one here is from the Floral Bits and Pieces from Cider and Donuts. This one here is, they're like labels and journaling bits, again, Cider and Donuts. I have the sequins, they are exclusive to Mercy Tiara Kits. Now I'm showing you some die cut leaves. Basically what I did was I cut myself out some leaves from some scraps of paper from this Cuddle Up collection. Now the first one I showed you is called Love of Leaves. It's an old retired die set from Stampin' Up, and the other one was an oak leaf from the Hip Kit Club that I bought a few years ago. I also have alphas. The ones underneath are from Vicki Boutin, or those ones there I should say are from Vicki Boutin, and there are puffy titles. That is from the Forever Fields collection as well. So I also have, of course, that die cut wreath, or I should say that cut file wreath as well. So right now what I want to do is adhere my photo mats to my photos, and I will also adhere those page parts to the foundation page. This part is a little bit slow. I think I'm keeping it slow because I just want to talk about that cut file a bit. Anyway, right now I'm kind of placing everything on the page. I am trying out that cut file. I find it's kind of hidden on top of that green circle. At this point, I decide I'm going to put it underneath, see if I like that better. What I'm doing here is quite simply playing, because I don't know how something is going to look unless I play around with it. And when I play around with it, I always listen to my gut. Either I like it or I don't. Now I did like that cut file on the off-white paper, but I just wasn't feeling it. So in the end, I decided to toss it to the side. I will use that on another layout, and I'm going to use that big circle with the green paper and white polka dots. So I adhered the 3 pattern papers together for the border. Now I'm adhering it to the page, and I also adhered that jumbo circle kind of towards the top of the page. It does stay at the top of the page, but later on in the process you're going to see I bring it down maybe an inch or so, something like that. My original thought was to basically place my photos on an angle more or less on top of that jumbo circle, and then have those 2 tags underneath. One of them would be where my journaling goes. I don't have tons of journaling. And the other one, that cut apart sheet, would be my title. But as I'm placing it, I'm not really liking it, not quite sure why. You're going to see me kind of just move around these pieces quite a bit. Finally, I decide I'm going to start embellishing. Maybe I will like it more if I start embellishing. So what I'm doing here is kind of building up a cluster in the bottom left, in and around that title area. You can see I brought in a few pumpkins. Now I'm coming in with the leaves. I'm kind of building it up. And then I will come in with some smaller bits and pieces as well. And then what I will do is end up putting a cluster in the kitty corner, which is something I typically do. I often create 2 clusters, and that gives me the opportunity to create a 3rd one on the coordinating page, creating a visual triangle. So I added a few mushrooms to that cluster in the, actually I didn't add the mushrooms quite yet. The cluster at the bottom there, I added a few small oak leaves. Now what you see me doing is, well, moving the title around, but just before that I added a few leaves and a tag up in the kitty corner there. I'm not really liking it though, and I'm not sure why. And the funny thing is, as I'm editing this, it seems fine to me, but when I was creating it, it just wasn't looking right to me. And I'm going to be saying that later on in the process as well. Ah, there I go in with a few mushrooms. I literally stopped the camera, moved everything off the page, and I'm thinking maybe if I put everything straight on the page, it will be more my style because mostly I put things straight on the page and not crooked. So now you can see my photos are straight, so is the title and the journaling box, and I'm building the same clusters but in opposite corners, basically the bottom right and the top left. I still didn't like it, so I turned off my camera, took a little break, and here I am back. I decided to scrap my title and my journaling tags. Instead, I'm showing you a title. It's simply Autumn. I'll show you those alphas in a minute. And I created a round journaling box with a layer with vellum. I'm just showing you the circle that I cut with some graph paper from my stash. I used some nesting circle dies from my stash. Those are from Stampin' Up, called Spotlight on Nature. There's a little embossing edge around the circle. I also cut myself a shelf, simply a strip of paper, and I'm thinking maybe if I put it under my photos, I might like this page better. Just showing you the alphas there. Those were in the main kit. That is from Vicki Boutin's Bright and Bold collection. So basically what I've changed here is my journaling box and title, and I'm adding a shelf. So now I'm going to show you how I plan to place them. I'm also showing you it's here that I moved down my circle, honestly, probably about 3/4 of an inch. Not much, but a little bit down. So now I'm placing the shelf, just giving you an idea where I'm going with this. And for me, it just feels better. It feels more me. I want there to be enough room to place Autumn on that shelf. And my idea is to have my journaling circle, which isn't much journaling really, simply pop out from underneath that shelf. So you saw me trim it down, and I'm doing the same thing with the vellum, and I'm just going to layer it underneath that border there. So I am happier with that. It's probably a design I've done many, many times before. I think I just feel like playing within my comfort zone today. So here I go building my clusters basically the very same way as I did before, starting with the pumpkins, then coming in with the larger leaves, then tucking in the mushrooms, and then later on when I do my finishing touches, I will add a few smaller bits and pieces as well. So what I'm going to do right now is start adhering everything to the page there. So I'm just making a little mark on my paper where to adhere my shelf, and I'm adhering that, bumping it up towards the left-hand side, and it doesn't quite reach the right-hand side of the page. I just want to make sure that my title has enough room on that border before I adhere my photos down. So I start adhering my title first, and then I will continue that off camera. I also adhere the two photos, and now you see me adding that journaling box just underneath. Now what I'm going to do is once again start building these clusters, but this time I'm going to adhere them on the page. I'm happy with it. So starting with the pumpkins, coming in with the leaves, then coming in with the mushrooms, and again later on I will add some finishing touches. Now it's really funny, I do like this. This is what feels good for me today, but the other two options I showed you throughout this process, while I was editing this video, they looked fine to me. There was nothing wrong with them. However, this is what is pleasing me at the moment when I'm creating the page. And honestly, that's really what it's all about. There are really no rules in scrapbooking, or the main rule should be, in my opinion, create something that brings you joy, something that you love. So you can see I've adhered most of this down, and now I'm adhering this last pumpkin. I backed it with a bit of cardstock because I want to pop it up with some foam adhesive. Now I'm getting out those puffy titles. Those are from the Maggie Holmes Forever Fields collection, and I find myself some puffy black leaves. I like how that picks up on the title Autumn, which is kind of in the grays and blacks. So that gives gray and black in 3 different areas on the page. And this is my finished layout. Off camera, I tucked in some tiny oak leaves that were in the Simple Stories Cider and Donuts Floral Ephemera pack, and I added a puppy heart just beneath the journaling circle, and that added a little bit of green in that area, so I kind of liked that. As I mentioned several times throughout the video, my first two attempts were fine. It just wasn't what I wanted on that particular day. I'm glad I took a break because when I came back, it came together quickly and I love the result. Scrapbooking is a pleasure, so do what brings you joy. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I'd greatly appreciate a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, Scrapbooking Quebec, I would be honored and thrilled if you did. And if you are a subscriber, thank you very, very much. Make sure you check out the Mercy Tiara Kits shop, Instagram, and Facebook page. Take care, and I will see you soon on YouTube. Bye-bye.